is a very special deck profile for me to make for you guys, not only because it's a first place Prank Kid deck profile, but because it is celebrating our 1,000th subscriber. Huge shout out to everyone who has made this possible for our channel. Of course, we're still growing, but we have reached a huge milestone, and me and my journey joining up as a team captain about a year ago, it's so special to see this YouTube channel up and running and going towards bigger and better things. So for you today, I have a Prank Kid deck profile, but before I get into the card by card, I do want to say that to celebrate our 1,000 subscriber, we're going to have an EDOPro tournament for a Starlight Rare Triple Tactics Talent, and you can find out more information about that tournament if you want to be involved in the description below. So let's get into the deck profile. This is a deck that I took to a display case tournament at one of the better locals on Long Island, and I went 6-0, 4-0 in Swiss, and won my top 4 in finals matchup. And it is a deck that went very smoothly. The whole day I didn't really run into many problems because the non-engine cards that I played were spectacular. So I'm going to be doing an explanation video shortly. I'm not going to be giving some full explanations, so if you want a little bit more of an in-depth video, we'll make another video for you guys to follow this one. So let's get into the profile. We got triple fansies, triple dropsies, triple lampsies, and big surprise, triple roxies. So all of these are 3. Of course, we don't play any less because we're not bad. If we're playing pure, we're always going to be playing 3 of all of these. I think that, of course, the best ones to draw are the ones that aren't dropsies, because we want to be able to poly into our toad play. So that requires us to open 2 Prank Kids that's not dropsies. But even if we open dropsies, it's not bad. If you have Reborn or Succession, it's really not bad. So yeah, all these are needed at 3. You just want to see your 1-card combo. And then for our hand traps, I played triple Ash Blossom. Can't go wrong with Ash Blossom, especially at a locals with a lot of Virtual World and Zodiac. And then I played triple Droll and Lockbird. So Droll and Lockbird works very well with another card in my deck, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So for the extenders, so we have triple Polymerization, technically searchable, so it is a superior extender. And then triple Prank Kids Pandemonium. So Pandemonium in the past has been a card I have widely played it too. However, with the recent meta choices such as Book of Moon and Dryden is in the meta, there's a lot of hard cards to play around going second. So when you commit your normal summon, a lot of the time your opponent will try to interact with you right then and there. And Pandemonium is a really cool card because it's a quick play spell. You can just dodge a lot of cards like Impermanence, Compulsory, or Book of Moon, Dynamiscus, a lot of the cards that our Yeldlik deck is playing, and the Zoo deck. So also Chuke, the Virtual World Trap. So there are many cards that I deemed that this was good against. So triple Pandemonium. And then again, for more in-depth explanations, check out the explanation video, which will be coming up shortly. So then we play 3 more extenders in the form of World Legacy Succession, Monster Reborn, and Instant Fusion. So previously, in the past, we had 3 Instant Fusion, and that was the best extender in the deck, but unfortunately it's at 1 on the Forbidden Limited list. So we play 2 other 1-ups to kind of fill the void. We're also not playing Parallel Exceed in this deck just because it conflicts a little bit with Mystic Mind, which we are playing. So Monster Reborn and World Legacy Succession filled in for that, just to try to play around Ash. It doesn't really stop Ash from happening, but you can Monster Reborn back a Prank Kid or Succession back a Prank Kid and try to make a doodle play, which if you open a Polymerization, you can actually recover the entire turn and still end on a Butler. So yeah, these cards were actually really good. They got me out of some tight jams. I brought back a Shen Shen with Reborn to try to attack for game with Virtual World against Virtual World, so that was very good. So those are my 3 extenders, and then only one prank. So pranks is an interesting card because it's not bad because you can obviously use it to recycle, which is the main application. I found that the second was missed a little bit. However, any situation where you're in a grind game where the second one would come up, you're usually going into time, and naturally Prank Kids just dominates in time. Just to be honest, the deck just really dominates in those situations. So it is good for the Mind Lock, which was the main application of the deck. And unfortunately, a couple of times I did, get banished with Cosmic Cyclone or Evenly Matched, and that kind of hurt. But I don't think the second one is really needed, so I'm just playing the one. I decided to play the third Pandemonium instead. And then we have probably the best part about any of my Prank Kid lists. I think my trademark is the Field Spell Engine. So we're still playing with one set rotation and the one terraforming, which can get us to 2 of our Prank Kid Place, 1 of our Fusion Recycling Plant, so a name or polymerization, or, of course, the trademark of the deck, 3 Mystic Mine. So Mystic Mine, I know a lot of people don't like this card, but it is just, there's no two ways about it. It's Vanity's Emptiness going first, and going second is just another way to either bait out a negate or just steal a game. I mean, there's a lot of games where I played against the Buster Lock, and I just activated mine. Whether I had to bait a negate or whether my opponent didn't set up a negate, I just activated mine, and my opponent just suffered. And we get into this grind game situation where if they do play an out, they have to go severely neg to try to out it, or if they don't play an out, then I just win. So keep in mind, you have a card that shuffles back all your resources with Prank Kids Pranks. So Mystic Mine absolutely needed, but we did play a card to make Mystic Mine even better, and I want to talk about this right now. So we played Triple Book of Eclipse. This was by far the most effective card in my deck. A lot of people are opting to main deck cards like Nibiru or even Torrential, but I think that this card is really the best of both worlds because it's really good against the mid-range decks or the combo decks, and it was honestly the best card in my deck for this tournament where I went 6-0. So I'm playing against all meta. I believe I played against Zoo, Virtual World, Dogmatica Invoked, Phantom Knights, and then in top 4 I played against Phantom Knight Orchest, and then in the finals I played against Virtual World. And this card came up pretty much every single game. It's one of those cards that can help you survive under mine if they draw the out, and it's just a great way to play through boards. To bait a negate to then eventually activate Mystic Mine is really important. And it also has a cool interaction with Droll, where if you activate Droll and you activate this afterwards, they actually don't draw at the end phase for Book of Eclipse, so it just becomes a free board wipe in a sense. So that's really cool. And then for the final card that we play is the Prank Kids Plan. I decided to play this card. This was probably the worst card in my deck. However, I think it's important to play it. It's just a great card to have an option to be able to either set up a quick play Harpy Feather Duster or just to recycle resources. Game 1, it's really good, and then if you play against a slower deck, like say like a stun deck, or some people still playing like Guru, the slower decks, this card is really good against because it completely resets your resources. So even though I did side it out most games, it's a good option to have. So that was it for the main deck, 40 cards. And now for the extra deck, we play only one Xyz monster in Totally Awesome. This card is very important if you're playing a polymerization build, which I believe is correct. Polymerization allows you to extend, but not only that, it allows you to summon a Toad before your 5th summon. So every player at my locals is pretty much maining Nibiru, and I don't want to lose to that card. I think that card is completely, it's dominating the format as far as how you have to build your deck. So this is really the only negate that you have built into your extra deck, so you really do have to play it. So 1 Toad, and then for the fusions, 2 Rocket, 1 Weather, and only 1 Butler. These you can recycle really well, so they're not really needed at multiples. And then for the Link monsters, 2 Meow Meow, 2 Doodle Doodle Doo, 2 of the dogs. So Bow Wow Bark. I think that these are all good at 2. You don't really need more, but yeah, these are all equally good. And then for the only Link 3, I played Unicorn. It didn't really come up, but it can. And then I also played Ningirsu as another way to send my own mind if that ever comes up. And it's also now to Dragoon. And then Access Code Talker, another way to get rid of your own mind. And then like destroy over fields. And then I did play the Frank Kid, Link 4, Rip Roaring Roaster. I don't think that this card is needed. I keep on finding myself not needing it. Of course, I didn't play plan for most of my games 2 and 3s, so it wasn't really needed. It's good, and like it might convert a loss to a win if you set up the trap, but it's not really needed. It's kind of like a boss monster to summon under the restriction of Pandemonium, but that's really all I could say about the card. So anyway, guys, yeah, this is a very weird list, huh? It's like a little bit different than maybe a normal standard deck list playing 15 hand traps, but this really did get me there, and the deck is really just really smooth. I have to say, you could play against the mid-range decks like, say, you know, Zoo or Virtual World, but you could also play comfortably against combo, you know, playing with your Mystic Minds and your Book of Eclipses, baiting out negates, putting cards face down, wiping the board with Butler, and if you really know what you're doing, you can really do well with this deck. So again, I did go undefeated, took home quite a nice prize pool of cards, about worth $200, and it was a good time. So anyway, guys, this has been the team captain, Henry, saying thank you once again for 1,000 subscribers. Please once again check out the information for the Triple Tactics Talent tournament, and look up for the next video for more explanations for this deck, as far as what my non-engine cards were, as why I chose them, and also how I side in this deck. I'll go over that a little bit as well. So this is Henry signing off. Bye, guys.